welcome to the Farmcast.
The Walking Dead's a bottom tier show.
I agree. Bottom tier show.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I have maybe seen 2 episodes in passing, but I've heard from a lot of people that the first 2 or 3 seasons are good, but after that everything is just dog.
I feel like everyone says that about every show. Oh, the first 2 seasons are good, and then the last seasons are just shit.
Breaking Bad.
I completely understand. Well, it's Breaking Bad only went on for 4 seasons. I think that's the beauty of it. They did it 5. Well, they did it perfectly, but that's the same thing for me as musicians almost, because a lot of these screenwriters, they've been working on this one thing for years, right? And they only have it up to, let's say, 3 seasons. And then the show takes off and they're like, well, shit. Now I got to come up with another 2 seasons.
Yeah, and they're rushed into it.
Or something. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The reason I said it reminds me of musicians. You know, who the hell ever says, "Oh, I like that band's 8th album." You know what I mean? Nobody ever says that.
There's some rappers who have had late career
Yes. I completely understand. That's fine.
Yeah.
But there are also shows that are like that too. You know, but for the most part,
yeah, It's Always Sunny. It's Always Sunny broke that rule because their best season's season 10. No, I get what you mean though.
Office had great seasons later on too, you know, but
I get what you mean for the most part. Because and I think some writers, small shows that start off small, where it's that aren't throwing a lot of money, they almost, in order to tell a good story, they almost have to tell it as if they aren't getting a second season. And the show I'm literally thinking about this is Stranger Things. Stranger Things season 1 was written as if it wasn't going to get a second season because it wasn't hyped up. It wasn't supposed to be what Stranger Things is now. And it just was kind of hard for them, I think, because they said, yeah, we could continue this story. And then I think that's why season 2, 3, and I'm assuming 4 almost feel detached from the first
Depends
season.
Who you ask. I don't know.
What do you mean?
Oh, detached? Oh, I thought you were just going to say worse.
No, I think season 3 is my favorite one.
Might be the best.
Season 3 is...
season 3.
I would love to go on a little mini rant here real quick. People fucking have nostalgia from the first time they watched season 1, and everyone says season 1's the best one. What happened to the show? Why is it so bad? You're a fucking idiot. Because once you get past that first mystery, rewatching season 1 is not nearly as fun as rewatching season 3. Season 3 is fucking amazing.
Season 3 is electric. And I think also it's tough to watch season 1 again because it's you have to reestablish every character's personality. So that kind of works against the replay value of it. But season 3, it's all these characters are basically returning characters. There's very few new characters. And it's so much freer. Season 2 is fine. It was a little...
It missed something. I don't know what it was. It has that one bad episode.
It had the really bad episode where 11 runs away or something, where she goes to New York or Chicago. I can't remember. It sucked.
Yeah.
And then it never had anything to do with anything ever again in that show. But no, season 3 was fantastic. I would watch that again and again.
I'm glad you agree because there is a hate train on the internet that says season 3, what happened to the magic of this show? Season 1 is literally built off of a mystery. Once you know the mystery, it loses all replayability. You know who 11 is.
Season 1, it's I'm seeing this for the first time. Of course, you're gonna be a little bit more. It's gonna be a little more exciting when you're getting to know everybody for the first time.
And the first time, with that aesthetic and that theme song, I get why people are nostalgic for it almost.
That's a top 5 theme song.
Might be number
intro
1.
To Stranger Things is one of the few intros on any show I watch that I'm not just immediately hitting the skip button on.
Yeah, that intro with the visual too.
Oh yeah,
so good.
I'll tell you what, boys, haven't seen Stranger Things.
Of course you
really.
Neither have I. I haven't
really.
Either.
All right, I'm not the only one this time.
I think you would really like it. I think you would.
I think you both would love it. It's such a
universal
universal
I think I would like it a lot. My issue is I was subscribing to 4 different four different TV subscription things, and Netflix just lost the cut.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
so.
I mean, I will give you my Netflix if that means you'd watch it.
Yeah, it is that good.
I'll watch. You know what? I'll watch Stranger Things when you watch Game of Thrones.
No,
It's a lot to get through.
absolutely not.
All right.
Because I know one ending stinks. I don't want to watch a show where I know I'm just, even if the journey's great, I'm a big on the destination. And if it doesn't end well, the whole thing is spoiled for me.
Don't watch season 9.
Fair.
It's end at 8.
I thought
Season eight's the last
I thought
season.
that one wasn't even.
Sorry, I thought there was a 9th season. Don't watch season 8.
But either way, though, like, what's the point? Like, that's why I always have a weird taste in my mouth when it comes to Mass Effect, because the big thing back in the day when Mass Effect 3 came out is like, wow, this game is a 10 out of 10. The last 5 minutes ruins the entire fucking series, and that matters more to me almost, because I cared so much about the story.
We just must think differently on this, because
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
the first 5 seasons of Game of Thrones is like the best television I have ever watched. Season 6 and season 7 are fine. Season 8, not the best. But I could
It's just hard
rewatch
for me
those first 5 seasons. I mean, just on repeat.
But if you knew going into it that it's like, wow, the ending is gonna be terrible, would you have the same enthusiasm?
Okay.
I'm just asking.
Well,
like,
no,
you know what I'm-
I do have to. Maybe
the thing is I don't think the ending is as bad as social media makes it out to be. Social media, I mean, I'm sounding like a boomer here, but it does blow everything out of proportion. Everybody gets super mad. They get their takes off. I do the exact same thing. I bitched about it on Twitter when season 8, when season 8 was going on. I bitched about it, but like, I think part of the issue is like, with Game of Thrones specifically, people waited 2 years and they didn't get the ending they wanted. Like, there were 2 years of people coming up with fan ideas that were so like intricate to the story.
It sounds
And
exactly like people waiting for Star Wars.
Yeah, and
Oh
that'll
my
ruin
God.
absolutely. That'll ruin anything. Anything.
no, it will, because
Man.
the things that like fanatics will come up with, like they're called fanatics for a reason because they're like crazy obsessive over something, right? The things that they'll come up with are so much better almost always than what actually happens, especially when you have to wait years for something to come up.
Also, fans of the show almost know better than they probably know more about that show at that point than the writers do in a weird way.
Right.
it's like Star Wars.
It's
And I feel like-
exactly
yeah.
like Star Wars.
And like, I feel like going into it knowing it's a bad ending, I feel like that almost can like
Stinks.
bring someone into it. Just be like, well, hear me out, just to like see for themselves, like, all right, how bad is this? It's like knowing like a movie's like a terrible movie, and you're just watching it. Okay, how bad can this be?
It's just a
I
movie.
mean,
The whole
Yeah, but
series is
the
like a
principle's the
commitment.
same though. It's like, yeah, it's a lot longer dragged out, but like if you know like the first 5 seasons are
But the
fine.
bad part isn't that long. It's not that dragged out. Only 1/8 of it is bad. That's what I'm going to say about Game
It's
of
one
Thrones.
bad apple to spoil the bunch.
See, at first,
No.
I was with Kyle, but I kind of agree with you guys because The Office has a terrible. Well, the last episode's good, but the last 2 seasons of The Office,
Bad.
Oh, garbage.
Oh,
But
terrible.
The difference is.
But you
you're
still
not-
like it, right, Kyle? You still
Here's the
like The
difference.
Office?
Here's the difference. You're not watching The Office for a long story arc to see like what's the dramatic ending at the
That's
end.
true.
You watch the episode.
Michael Scott. Michael Scott is a
But
very
you're not-
interesting
you're not-
character arc.
You're not tuning in every week because there isn't story shit every week. Most of the time, they're just one-off episodes that are just hilarious, and then that also every once in a while you have an overarching thing. It's not like a serious drama like Game of Thrones is.
see,
Well, you wouldn't know if it's a serious drama because you haven't seen it.
No,
but
I think I know.
no, it's a funny
it's
show.
a very
comedy.
Yeah,
It's a bunch of one-off episodes.
Yeah.
Jamie Lannister,
Lot of
funniest
people.
man I've ever seen.
So many.
Yeah.
Comedy. That's what Game of
Yeah.
Thrones is.
Didn't you know about the Game of Thrones and Friends crossover coming out?
Oh shit!
It's gonna be huge.
Jon
Wait for the
Snow,
Big Bang Theory crossover.
Jon Snow
Oh.
and Joey get into some
Joey
shenanigans.
Lannister.
I want to see it.
Moral of the story, for me, if you haven't seen Game of Thrones yet, watch it. Don't listen to the stupid morons on Twitter. Watch the show.